I'm Liam. I finished the French school in 2018 in 8th grade, and today I am a student at Université Paris 7, which is part of one of the old historical Sorbonne schools in Paris, France, where I am currently double majoring in applied math and economics. Well, I speak French and English fluently. I started learning Spanish here as well, and I kept taking Spanish in high school. So I started in kindergarten. I did the full kindergarten through 8th grade. So I was initially interested with the IB program at La Costa Canyon, and we decided to switch over to the Grauer School in Encinitas, and then I completed my junior and senior year there. So I think one of the biggest differences with the San Diego French American School, as opposed to a lot of the other sort of pre-high school, like middle school, elementary schools, is, well, first, everything is in French and English, which is big, and then people start learning Spanish as your third language. But I think what was the most impactful to me was really doing sort of every school subject in both languages, because it really teaches students from a young age how to manage a significant workload when it comes to academics. And when you start early at the San Diego French School, you really start working in that workload at an early stage, and then it progresses as you move up into middle school. And coming from the French school and then going to an American high school afterwards, I think the amount of work and sort of the habits you build and the motivation you have to doing classes in both languages, both subjects, it really made the workload later, actually now in college too, a lot easier to handle. It's sort of start early, get that work in and build good habits. So definitely it would be the two languages. I think having to process, academic subjects, but not only, I guess, just academic, but when you're learning history and you're doing plays and songs, sort of just the whole cultural, grouping, having to sort of think about that and process that in two languages is a big asset, because when it comes to doing things later in your life, being able to sort of draw upon that past, and I guess just having a bigger sort of sense of reflection when you're addressing topics was huge for me. In terms of the academic subjects themselves, I think was math classes, because you're doing math in both languages, and the French system and the American system when it comes to math are very, very different from each other. The American system is more about what the result is, while the French way is how do you get there. Doing both of those really prepped me for high school and college. When I was here, I think the school was a little bit smaller in terms of student population. We really built kind of a tight-knit community. Everyone had watched each other grow up. It was really, quite a family. And the teachers were super involved with that. Even though, you would see maybe a teacher for 3rd grade and wouldn't have them again, you'd see them walking around campus. And it really makes life here easier, because everybody, everyone's super friendly. When it comes to parents are really involved. There's a lot of activities and organizations that happen outside of the class. And you really feel like you're part of an environment that respects you and that wants you to be there too. It was definitely a little bit of a cultural melting pot here, and it just allows you to really understand how there's so many different cultures around the world, and it allows you to develop, an appreciation for all of that. Well, I think one of my favorite field trips was probably in 5th grade when we did the boat trip, and we spent the night on a boat at the Maritime Museum. And at the time, it was one that at least myself and the people that I knew really did not like. They were making us eat food that sailors had in the 1600s, and that wasn't, it definitely wasn't the best. But I think having that is really a learning moment and a bonding experience with your classmates going through something that isn't always easy and comfortable really helped us at least form a tighter community. And it's something that I look back on and think of a lot. So I have 1 year left in Paris. I'm going into my senior year. In terms of profession, I've been looking a little bit more about pursuing a career in finance. Currently doing my second internship at General Atomics in San Diego, a defense and technology company out here, where I'm working on government relations and government contracts and data analytics. That I'm leaving is definitely a potential to get into. I would say that when I started there, so 3 years ago, starting class in September was definitely a little bit of a cultural shock, because the way French universities work is so different than the way we do things here in the US. And in the beginning, I found it to be kind of hard to adapt, but then I really sort of remembered and went back to, I guess, my roots growing up with the French school and remembering how we did things and what teachers would put priority and emphasis on, and I started working on those things, and it definitely helped me do a lot better over there.